7 EastEnders Spoilers next week from the 5th to the 8th of February 2024. 1. The cafe reopening causes panic for the Six. The cafe reopening gets off to a bumpy start when Nish and Kat discover there has been a leak, and part of the floor is wet. But when Kathy and Stacy Slater overhear Nish stressing that the floor needs replacing, they arrange a crisis meeting with the other women as they hope to keep Keanu's body concealed. Meanwhile, Bernie Taylor impresses Nish as she aims to win her old job back, and he offers her the manager position. But when Bernie accidentally plays an old voice note from her brother Keanu, Nish berates her. Then Karen arrives. 2. Kathy Cotton's shock decision as Karen Taylor threatens secret. Karen causes a stir at the cafe as she clashes with Nish, but then Phil arrives and demands his £50,000 back. Karen vows to get answers about Christmas, but Kathy and Stacy team up to convince her of their version of events. Phil and Karen have another row when she refuses to pay him what she owes, and Karen twists the knife about Kat and Nish's blossoming relationship. Karen points out that Phil's Walford empire is slipping away, but the day takes a turn when Kathy decides to call the police on Karen for Alby's kidnapping in a bid to protect the Six's secrets. Karen later demands an audience with Linda about Christmas, while Phil seeks advice from Kathy about Karen. Will Karen find out that Keanu has been murdered? And what will Phil do about his cash? Will Karen go to prison? 3. Will Denise Fox confess as she hallucinates Keanu Taylor? Amid the drama at the cafe, Denise insists she must confess, and seeks solace at the community center with Pastor Clayton. He encourages her to unburden herself from her torment, so Denise prepares to write a letter to husband Jack Branning. Little does she know when Jack returns home to his despondent wife that he has spent the night with Stacy again. When Jack lies that he slept on the sofa, distracted Denise willingly accepts this explanation. Denise also hallucinates Keanu as the traumatic events of Christmas Day weigh her down. Will her struggle be the Six's undoing? 4. Lauren Branning catches Linda Carter drinking. Linda wakes full of regret, and confides in Mum Elaine Peacock. Meanwhile, pal Alfie Moon is persuaded by Ian Beale to take a holiday to celebrate the end of his treatment for prostate cancer. Linda apologizes to Alfie for avoiding him, and after a heart-to-heart, Alfie invites Linda to join him on his trip. But as the week continues, Linda balks at the sight of Karen in the square, and she rushes back to the pub to pack a suitcase. Elaine tries to convince Linda to stay, but she's adamant she's leaving with Alfie. Stacy is left shocked when Elaine reveals that Linda is fleeing, and we later see Elaine have a chat with Alfie. Soon, Lauren spots Linda secretly drinking in the Vic, and her suspicions take root as she grows concerned about half-sister Annie. Lauren offers to look after Annie, and whisks her away before Linda has time to agree. Kathy interrupts and Linda tries to hide the wine, but the situation escalates into an argument. As the conversation gets more heated in the bar, Ben Mitchell tries to intervene. Lauren and Kathy order Linda to sober up, but she heads to the Albert. How far will she crumble under the weight of her killer secret? And will Lauren take action over Annie? 5. Eddie Knight influences troubled Denzel Danes. Eddie arrives at the Vic with the news that he's won an award for championing diversity in boxing. Son George Knight is proud, but granddaughter Gina Knight isn't convinced by Eddie's nice guy act. Sensing Gina's irritation, George takes Eddie on a tour of the square, where they find Denzel training at the boxing den. Eddie encourages George to get in the ring with Denzel to try and improve the teen's form, and Avani Nandra Hart turns up to join Denzel in the ring. But Eddie's tough approach had consequences when Denzel insults Avani, leading her to run off. George berates Denzel and the lad heads to McClunky's to apologize. Yolande Truman is impressed by Denzel's new focus, but questions his new obsession when he reveals he wants to train twice a day. 6. Cindy Beale is suspicious of Eddie Knight. Eddie gets a call from wife Gloria, and he tells her everything is going to plan. Gina helps Mum Cindy Beale at Beale's Eels, and shares her concerns about George and Eddie. Cindy challenges George on his new acceptance of Eddie, but things turn sour between the pair as George criticizes Cindy on her own parenting skills. After a second argument with George, Cindy is reeling and has a heart-to-heart with Ian and son Peter Beale. Will Cindy work out what Eddie is up to, or will all soon be exposed one way or another? 7. Kat Mitchell meets with Phil Mitchell as Nish Panesar lets her down. Kat reluctantly accepts a gifted coach from controlling Nish that is not to her taste. She is later unimpressed when Nish chastises her for questioning Priyanandra Hart on her work ethic, and Kat purposely leaves without the coat. Nish catches up with Kat and asks her to wear it, but Jean Slater stops her with some home truths about her new romance with Nish. Kat later heads over to request a meeting with Phil, but what will transpire between them? Kat returns to Phil's to find son Bert's missing toy, and comes to blows with Priya in the square, where Ben and husband Callum Highway step in. Kat is horrified to learn that older son Tommy has gone to live with Phil, and heads over there. But what will become of Kat's connection with Nish?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của OK Spoilers. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn video tiếp theo.